Create live taping, and I am so glad to have you here as my studio audience. To the folks in YouTube land, hey y'all, can y'all say hey to the folks in YouTube land? Say hey! Yes, thank y'all for watching. We have an amazing show for you. Whether you're in the audience or you're in YouTube, be prepared for a treat, because I am a treat, okay? And if 10 is the season, they said trick or treat. I'm not gonna tell you which one I am. I'm gonna leave that up for you to decide. Ow, okay? But we have a wonderful interview with the gracious, the wonderful, the legend Joe Jackson is in the house. Give it up for Joe. Hey, Joe. We also got Kr3wcial in the house. Say hey, Kr3wcial about to perform down. And so I am very excited, and I'm ready to do a little fierce chat. Can we have a little fierce chat? I'm thinking we have a little fierce chat. All right, so I don't know if y'all have ever really been to a Creative to Create show. Wait, you haven't, because this is the first one. But what I need from y'all is audience back and forth. This is church, so when I say, are you ready for fierce chat? Yes, ma'am. All right. So, fierce chat, we ready? We queued up? So, this is what happened. So, I was doing a little interview with an artist named Yamali San. I don't know if y'all are familiar with him, but he's a poet. And I had a cute little wig on, okay? The wig was stunning, it was cute. I was talking to him, and I'll be honest, he's an artist, he's a friend, but I think he's pretty attractive, you know? And I think people, you know, a lot of times people aren't used to seeing the dolls next to 6 men like that. And so I was figuring there was gonna be something, but someone then put under the little chat, someone I didn't know, so I don't know how he found me, I guess he knew him. I guess he knew him, but he put nigga with a wig. And I thought several things. One, I thought, I'm more like Oprah. You know, Oprah believes like you shouldn't say the N-word. Oprah's very much like, don't say the N-word, but then also part of me is like, I'm like, we can reclaim it sometimes. You know, it's like, it's a little dicey sometimes. But I was trying to figure out, I was like, nigga don't necessarily mean like man, you know? Like my nigga, you know? That's me. Y'all don't know. Y'all like iffy about it. Anyway, I decided, okay, what was I gonna respond back? What got me was, the person I did the interview with, he said, and so what? No, I know that's right. He said, yes, so what? Nigga, no. No, I wanted him to say, you mean beautiful, gorgeous woman. You know, I wanted a little bit of a bite back. I felt like they were in some type of agreement. But I understand the middle ground. Have y'all heard anything about trans-amorous? Being trans-amorous? Yes. Yes? Can you tell me what is trans-amorous, if you have a little bit?
People who are trans-amorous is a person who dates strictly trans people.
Right. So there's this whole thing going on in the community now where it's like you have these men, because the gag about the man was he followed all the girls. He followed, yes, the man who left the comment followed all the girls. And all the girls. And I was like, how do you know all these girls / niggas in wigs? That was my first question. And if you know all the girls, you know that that's disrespectful. You know that that's not right. But, I got an echo, I feel like Beyonce. But in that discussion in between trans-amorous, that sometimes we go through as trans folks where people feel attracted to you, but they don't necessarily know how to portray it. And so they're disrespectful. And that's also where that trans-amorous word comes from in terms of the DL culture. And I feel like trans-amorous is really just, you know how like it was just kind of a lot of slurs, and we had DL. I feel like trans-amorous almost could be the new DL, because a lot of these people that are trans-amorous are claiming their attraction to trans folks in that way. That's what I have to say about it. Any thoughts? Does that make sense? Is that game, beautiful? I just had to get that off my chest, because I wanted to respond in real life and be like, you know what? I'm a nigga in a wig, but I got a talk show. But then I felt like I was claiming the nigga in the wig. I'm still trying to decide. You know, like, can I reclaim nigga in the wig? I could. Jury's still up for debate. But without further ado, the jury's still out on it?
It's
It's still out?
Still out.
Okay, so you don't know. By the end of the show, you can let me know if I can reclaim nigga with a wig.
Okay.
If at the end of the show, if I came out and like, thank y'all, Created to Create, hosted by Simone Emanuel, aka the nigga with the wig, you know it works.
I know that's right.
Exactly. Can we give it up for DJ Honeypack? That was beautiful. Oh my gosh, I love y'all so much. Okay, so that was a beautiful fish chat. The main show who I'm really here to get into is a wonderful legend in the community. I was trying to figure out who I wanted to interview next. I was like, I interviewed Mariah Moore in my first interview, and then I did my second interview with Edward Buckles, and I said, who is someone that I feel like captures culture, and who do I want to bring specifically in Noma? And my drag mother was like, Joe Jackson. And I honestly was not familiar with Joe Jackson in the way that I think a lot of people are. Now that I know Joe, I walk up, people be like, hey, can I get a picture? And I'll be like, wow, Joe really got it going on, you know? And it's because, as I've come to realize, he is a culture bearer in every sense of the word. He is a culture bearer in terms of comedian. He's funny, he's making jokes about the culture. He's a culture bearer in terms of his cooking, baby. He cooks down, and he didn't go to school for cooking. It was the culture that taught him how to cook. He was the culture. He taught to cook. He's a host. He's a bounce artist. But ultimately, now I get to sing my friend. Can we give it up for the wonderful Joe Jackson? It's big people friendly. I'm a little tall. You a little tall.
I'm not tall.
How tall are you?
I'm 6'6".
6'6". That's very tall.
Fortunately and unfortunately, I enjoy being tall, but sometimes I want to be small so I can hide in small places. I can't hide.
At all, nowhere. Everybody sees you.
So, yeah.
That's why everybody knows you. So let's talk about it. Who were you before the people knew you? Who was Joe Jackson? Where did Joe Jackson come from?
I've always been Joe Jackson, whether it was in whatever capacity. So I grew up in the church when I was actually my pastor's armor bearer. So an armor bearer as the pastor's assistant, I would bring his water and his Bible and all this shit like that. And basically it was like have you ever seen Fight Temptations?
With Beyonce?
Yes, and things that was happening to make the choice whether to stay in the church or be in the secular world.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my choice to be in the secular world. I left the church and living in the streets, and I feel like the ministry is in you. Mm-hmm. So when I see people out in the streets, I bring the word of God, I bring whatever, whether it's got pussy popping or taking shots or whatever. My ministry is with me. I carry it with myself. So I sow seeds wherever I go.
Can you talk about the seeds you sown and where people may have seen you? Or for the people who are not familiar with the Joe Jackson, who are you? Where are you now?
So I'm from the Tribe Parish, which is the Terrebonne, St. Charles, and I believe St. John, or the River Parish.
The river parishes.
The Bayou.
The Bayou.
So I was the first openly gay radio personality on 105.9 KBC The Breeze.
Okay, yeah.
From there we went on to be a celebrity personality on Sheba Church 504. So I was on and off.
Shout out to Sheba.
Shout out to Sheba.
I like Sheba. Is she good?
She's so sweet. And she's just so lovable, but also so real.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
And then from there we went on to chefing and doing the whole catering. I had a restaurant in Gray, Louisiana.
Okay. And where?
In Gray, also in the country.
Is it great?
No, but it's also very much in between.
It's
so,
in between.
Yeah. So
In between black and white.
it's So it's yeah, it's literally in the middle of everything.
It's great.
Yeah,
It's great.
Literally in the middle.
Yeah, I've never heard of Parade Louisiana.
Yeah, so our restaurant was named after my regular Rosemary Soul Food Kitchen.
Oh, it wasn't called Parade. I'm sorry, I'm stuck on Parade and I've never heard
It's a
of it.
very dangerous place. Don't sleep. It goes down in the rain.
It goes down in the rain.
But it's still
Okay.
My restaurant was in Gray, and we named it after my regular who taught us all how to cook.
Okay.
She had 9 kids, and it was always a dream of hers to own a restaurant. My grandfather was so practical. He wanted to go to work and have a constant check. He like all that shit. He would go to work and pick up some checks. So my gift back to her was to give us a birthday. We will her out for her 90th birthday, and it was a sign that said Rosemary Soul Food Kitchen.
Wow.
And she was able to see her dream come full circle. And it's so crazy because my grandfather was a janitor at City Hall in the parish. And my mom became the first black student, but the first black council of chairs, Dr. Orlando J. Williams.
Come on. Doctor. that's the legacy that you lead. And then how did that bring you to New Orleans to do? Because all that isn't great. How you get down here?
So from there, I cooked for the governor and a couple other people that I
What governor?
John Bell.
Okay.
Yeah. So then
How you started cooking for John?
well, so my mom was in politics already.
Okay.
And then I would cook certain things and just, bring certain meetings and stuff and just cook things and do this. So when they found out they couldn't come home to the restaurant, for a meeting, I was like, come to the restaurant, just throwing it out, thinking I was going to fine. And then his security hit us up the day before, like, look, you're coming tomorrow, there's a possibility I should shut it down for an hour. Of course. And we fed him and his wife. And then
because I feel like that is one of the themes of the show is creative to create is about saying you felt called to do something and then you did it and then the right person called and the right person did the same, right? It's like I did the talk show.
Are we back? Beautiful. I did the talk show because of this conversation and because I feel like a lot of people do not know origin stories. A lot of people don't realize that sometimes you just have to do the thing, even if nobody's seeing it.
The thing about manifestation is you have to put yourself in the realm of what you want to attract and what you want to attain. Mm-hmm. So if you want to be a TV star or rapper or whatever, you have to be in the hoop, you have to be about the rapper, you have to be in the vicinity of doing it and you get to talk about it. Mm-hmm. And I feel like a lot of people confuse an offering with a sacrifice. Mm-hmm. Right? So an offering is what is owed to God. Mm-hmm. Our sacrifices is those things that we don't have the intention to give God. Or we didn't want to, or we didn't think of, it's something that we don't want to let go. Mm-hmm. That we offer up in order to get something else, i.e. our time, going out, us as creators, us as owners, us as, multifaceted, we can't indulge in certain things that other people indulge in. Because we don't have the time, and it's our sacrifice, not being able to enjoy certain things, not being able to go around certain groups of people. Mm-hmm. And it's good and it's bad, but at the same time, it has to be like in order to attain what you want to attain. Because I can't be here and try to go over there and work on what I'm doing over here. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you have to make the sacrifices, and I feel I work from a place that I feel like everything is good. The universe is good, God is good. So when pain happens, it's out of good. Like goodness is coming at the next story. That's how I try to walk through life, and it doesn't happen all the time. Sometimes you get frustrated. But I also know usually I'm a biblical preacher's kid, so when it comes to sacrifice, I think that is essential to being a creative and essential to making it big or whatever. When did you know you had something magical in you, and when did you realize other people started to notice it?
Most definitely in church. I would just walk into a room and people would just start laughing. Like I would just start talking, and people just automatically were just drawn to me. They were drawn to the way I spoke, the way I asked the questions, the way I would just carry myself. So I was, it was kind of like maybe I have something, or maybe and then once you get, I would say it's important to find your joy. Because when you get your joy, you get your power. You get your power, you get your heart, you get your life.
Can I hear you say that? When you get your joy, you get your what?
You get your power.
See, y'all, they not it. When you get your joy, you get your what?
That's right.
I know that's right. Okay, that's beautiful. Because when you do get your joy, you get your power. Because I think joy is not happiness. Joy is everlasting. Joy is something that resides in you even when it's raining outside. So when you have your joy, you do have your power. Because that means, baby, before the show started, I couldn't find my boots. I couldn't, life was going on. I'm like, plus people, the camera person was like, I can't make out, but it's like, you can't steal my joy, right? That's what Kr3wcial did. You won't steal my joy, devil. Y'all remember that?
Everything worked out. You look good tonight.
You see, I got my boots.
But even if it didn't.
And even if it didn't, I was still gonna come out here, and it was gonna be, I got my toes done. Like, that's the joy. The joy is finding the little things. I love that.
I feel like once you find your joy, you get your power, you get your anointing, once the anointing comes, you get your assignment. After the process of being processed, after all the things, now you're able to go out and do, And I feel like a lot of times that we ask God for certain things, or ask Him to do certain things, open certain doors. It's like our prayers are going unanswered, but we are not prepared for certain things. And I feel as though with all the success I have now, I would not have been able to handle that back then. It was a lot of things I was like, well, if I just did this differently, I would have been able to then, But I wasn't mentally, I wasn't spiritually, I wasn't emotionally. anything able to handle where I am today.
And some of those things you don't know until you reach the success, and you're like, huh, if this would have came, I wouldn't have been prepared.
But I can't do that now, so I thank God for the process of being processed.
The process of being processed. Can you talk about the process, man? How did you leverage what was so good in church and what you saw people into a business and make money in?
So my brother always told me that my gifts were going to be for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't worried about money. I wasn't worried about. I just knew everything was going to be taken care of if I went with my assignment. And as long as you are going with what God has implanted into you, everything else is already taken care of. So as far as money, as far as bills, as far as things, there was people that was offering me stuff that I had no idea that I could even request. Like I was going to ask y'all for half this. And y'all, so sometimes we'll want things that God has tripled or doubled or quadrupled for us already. But if we're walking in opposite of what God wants us to do, it's hard for us to be able to receive those blessings.
It is. It is. And I feel like God and your relationship with God is a personal relationship. And so what happens in that personal relationship, what God may require from me may not be required of you, or may not be required of the next person. And that can be a tricky thing to decide. I think you're a guy. I want you to kind of, right? I know, so you have celebrity chef. Can you list the celebrities you cooked for? What saint? You don't know their names? They just call you and be like, Joe.
Long as the check clear. Joseph, the governor of Louisiana.
So what's it like cooking for Big Frida? Because Big Frida's a chef too. So.
Yeah, and it's crazy because I'm out of all the names, I'm actually closest with Frida. And I was the most nervous person. I was the most nervous to cook for Frida because she's a chef, she loves food, and she's very critical. Like she'll be nice, but she'll,
So has she ever been like, okay, Joe, this is not hitting?
Oh no.
Okay, no, because your shit is always there. Okay.
I just feel as though, food is very much it's very personal. And what I like may not be what you like. And for certain reasons. So I never take offense when people like, I don't like this food, I don't like the way she cooks, because you're more than entitled to feel how you want to feel. However, when I do cook, I feel like people enjoy it because I put love into it, I put my energy into it. So like, if I don't want to, if I'm feeling right, I don't cook. If I'm upset, I don't cook. If I'm aggravated, I don't cook. If I'm pissed off, I don't cook. So people feel that they eat it. Like, say what's that you ever been, and all your food is fucked up. And you get home, and you're like, all the shit fucked up, and like, you have a bad attitude.
Yeah.
And the attitude transfers to the person that you talk to.
You're right.
It's a trickle effect.
You're right. Do you believe that food is the way to a man's heart?
I don't know.
No. Okay, so
Food got all that power when it came. You didn't. Food can shift your day and all that, but it can't trap a man.
Okay.
I was trying to get to know, because if you know what meal I can cook, you got.
Speaking of man, you got a man.
I'm single. I'm enjoying. I had the privilege of enjoying being loved, and now I have the privilege of enjoying being single. And I feel like it's a season and a reason for everything. And sometimes we all are in certain elevations in our life. We'll feel like, we have to come with me because we start out together. But that's, sometimes people that we all maybe lay in bed with are hindering us from going to the next level. And it's all about sacrifice. It's sacrificing that comfortability that this person was who I thought was supposed to be with me for whatever. It was for a season. But your purpose is to find out why they're with you and let them go. And it was meant to keep people. It was meant to let go, let go.
What advice do you have to give
To other creators who are out here trying to be like, hey, I have this dream, I want to cook, I want to do design.
Be fearless. Be fearless. Period. Be fearless. If it fails, fuck it. If it succeeds, fuck it. But you just have to create. It's a baby. If it's a baby in you to be birthed, birth it. Give life to it. Because it may not be for you. It may be for somebody else. So if certain projects, like my last project with Sizzle, I had been doing mouse over like about 10 years. And I got comfortable doing just ad libs and MCing for my own personal, and then this past summer I was like, people need this. People need this. And I released it out, it was, the feedback was like, I needed that. It was a release. So we hold the Church of Talk every Thursday. And the Church of Talk is basically, it's a stage zone for everybody to come. Once you got your money to get in. But it's the stage zone for everybody to come, and people understand that twerking is so ancestral, and it's so spiritual, and it's so connected amongst all communities, gay, straight, women, non-binary, whatever. It's the Church of Twerk is a very special place because I found myself in the church. Well, we found myself in Church of Twerk. Being an MC and then going back to being an artist and being a host and all that. Sometimes you'll lose yourself in the paychecks. You'll lose yourself in the bookings. You'll lose the fun and the art and the culture of what is New Orleans about music. And you understand that through the music is how we express ourselves from the street. It's the voice of the street. It's how we feel unapologetically, unedited, raw, raunchy, whatever. And it's authentically New Orleans. Not NOLA, not none of the other stuff. It's New Orleans. And I need people to understand that New Orleans and NOLA is two totally different things. And if we as the culture carriers don't continue to carry the culture, NOLA will be.
It won't. If we don't get the culture, there won't be no culture. What's next? Then you have Church of Twerk. What's next?
So we have Church of Twerk. We just finished It's Only Your Booty tour.
It's Only Your Booty.
Yeah. So that's our last album. It's on iTunes and Spotify. It's strictly live. It's all recordings from the Church of Twerk. So you can actually feel like he was there. You can work out to it, but it's otherworldly. Because New Orleans is otherworldly. And it's not just, cursing and yelling on the beat, but it's the culmination of the people in the background. It's the yelling, the chanting, the screaming, the people slapping the floor, the ad-libs. It's just New Orleans. It's raw. And it's very expressive. It's artsy. It's New Orleans. And I feel like New Orleans bounce music has been the victim of being taken from for so many years. And then it's time for us to step up to the back. Not yet. We have artists like City Girls, Beyonce, Megan Thee Stallion, Drake. All people have.
Everybody has a bounce beat to it. Has in their catalog. Somebody got a bounce.
And not only the people, but of our artists.
Yeah, you're right.
That sounds familiar. They'll take our vocals and they'll rock them and they'll play them backwards and slide down all that other shit. But it's us. It's us. And that's why I feel so hard for people like you and myself and other creators to be able to push this shit out. Because we have to. Otherwise, there'll be other people who claim they're part of the culture and they're part of this and part of that. But to be a part of this culture in New Orleans is a living experience. I've got so many stories that they have been told from people who weren't even around or weren't even like weren't there to see that. We were there, so it's different coming from a person who was there and was able to live during that time or live during a certain period or experience certain things. But I remember a time to pass down those stories to people who not able to experience those things like fusions.
I don't even y'all know.
Oh,
Y'all know fusions back then? I ain't never been to fusions.
Fusions was one of those places where it didn't matter whether you were in the ballroom, whether you were coming out of work. It was a place for LGBTQ to come and just fellowship.
The crazy thing is, this is perfect because I was about to ask questions from the audience if the audience has anything or want to give flowers. Because my thing is, I feel like, I don't know if you feel like you get your flowers often, but you should. And I want to give that space.
I appreciate you, but I feel like New Orleans is one of the places, the reason why we don't recognize, I feel like our local celebrities is because everybody in New Orleans is a celebrity, like in their own right. And I feel like it's a good thing and a bad thing, but it's more of a good thing because it's very humbling when I go out to other places and it's so down to earth. And I'm like in my mind, I'm just from down south. But in New Orleans we have a certain thing, I'm Keisha, I do hair.
Wait, you said fuck the whole Keisha, I do hair.
And that's just a New Orleans mentality. We all have a star mentality.
Right, it's like, okay, I'm a host. Like, I could have very well been like, Joe Jackson was a host. I host.
Right. But it's very much, it's humbling in because you'll see people come from out of town
Mm-hmm.
and they don't have as many accolades or as much experience as we do, you know, as people from New Orleans, or people from Kr3wcial or whatever, and they'll be treated better than us who are from here. You know, these people are coming and take our culture.
And take it and then facilitate it and then bring it elsewhere and come in, or they'll come and do a workshop here.
So that's
And
the
get paid
downside
X amount of dollars.
the humbling image of New Orleans. Other than that,
It feels good to be humble. Any questions from y'all?
I was hoping you could speak more to the New Orleans versus the NOLA thing, because I think it's important for people to hear how you experience your home versus the kind of name that is being developed for it and how there's a disparity between those two things. So I was hoping you could speak more to what sorts of things or maybe even ideas that separate those two and get away from the home New Orleans feeling.
so New Orleans, I would say, would be more of a lived experience, and NOLA would be something that I feel like is from the outside looking in, telling us what we think New Orleans is, or what they think we think New Orleans is, you know, versus what New Orleans really is, and it's culture. And you can't have culture without being creative. You know, it's one thing to copy, but to actually create. And I feel like the main difference between NOLA and New Orleans is NOLA is the creator, and NOLA was created.
Okay, NOLA, you're creative to create. All right? And you take things, you do things, but sometimes, you know, there's no such thing as an original, but, you know, because if you think about it, you think New Orleans, even before that, was Babalcha, right? So we always want to remix and shape things, and things start to feel like home, but the problem is when NOLA feels home and you don't know what comes before it and what comes during it. One more question, anybody?
It's more of a comment because of the fact of my living space, by me being from New Orleans, and also you brought up something about Club Fusion because of the fact that I basically coming into the community at 19 years old. Now when I just celebrated my 37th birthday on Friday. Thank y'all. And me growing up around that area, in that era of fusion, like, you know, with you and Priest and all those other people, and like listen and getting to know like what I am as a person, me being who I am and standing here right now, you know, as a beautiful black trans person, and also like all those influences like influence me to be like, you know, want to be more steadfast and like, you know, like the younger generation didn't know what this was. They don't know what this was. And what we had back in those days, to the point where y'all are standing here, where y'all looking at right now. So I give flowers to people like Priest and Joe, you know, to say that because of y'all, I would not be here. I wouldn't be here. I would be probably in somebody's dish somewhere. I mean, that's what they normally say to about black trans girls. I mean, am I right? Am I wrong?
You ain't lying.
Okay. So I just want to basically give my flowers to you, and you know, you have been a big influence in the community, and I thank you.
It's all
One thing that I really want to get back to in the LGBT community in New Orleans is the sense of community. And I feel like we don't have that old sense of community as far as correction wise. Because, you know, we had that old, let me talk to you. Take that up, pull that up, take that up, pick that up. We don't have that. Everyone's so sensitive.
Exactly.
Everyone's so sensitive. And I feel like that's what we're missing. We're missing the reprimand. We're missing the being chastised. You know, it was.
No, that was brought up in my first interview with Mariah Gwen.
Check it out on YouTube, Creative to Create.
No, but she brought up the fact that she said when she grew up, she came to the page on Rampart on the bus, and the girls of the community at the time sat up the wall, and they was like, she's one of us, and she was like, okay, if you're gonna be on the bus,
This is what we
do, you know, and there's a borderline with that because I feel like now, like you said, we
No, we're more expansive as young people in terms of we got not
binary is different. The spectrum is wider, but with a widening spectrum, sometimes you have to widen, like you said, having those folks to be like, this is what it's like to be a trans woman in America. This is what it's like to be a trans woman in New Orleans. And to be able to see a big freedom, see a Joe Jackson
on a stage
is important. And represent. That's another reason why I did this show, was because I felt like I don't see me in this space. So I can't wait for it. We gotta create it. And I'm so grateful for y'all to be here. I'm so grateful.
So, a little bit for
Thank you. Give it up to Joe Jackson. Yeah. 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 I'm a milk moment. Now, we're almost to the end of the show. We have a wonderful treat for you. This person goes by the wonderful name of Kr3wcial, and that's how he said it. It's not me. I didn't do it. He came up with it. Ask him about it. Maybe I'll ask him about it later. But he's about to do a lovely performance, and he's been in the NOMA Creative Assembly cohort with me for this past year, and it's been a wonderful experience getting to see him and getting to see other creatives with the same dream and the same vision of creating art and wanting art to be possible and being like, I'm gonna do it if no one else does it. And he's so cool. And I think it's best for him to show you how cool he is. He's gonna be accompanied by a friend that I've known since high school, Seiber, and this is Kr3wcial. Yeah. Hello, everybody. Yeah.
I ain't stressing about a goddamn thing, 'cause in honesty, that's not gonna change shit. The pressure on me, I might bend, won't break. Either way, it's gonna be okay. Rome wasn't built in a day. Don't let the sadness fracture your faith. Lights flash, then it's ashes again. But baby, that's how magic is made. Now I wear these war wounds like a badge of the brave. I guess good things come to the patient. I pray love and good vibes spread like a plague until it take over the nation. Yeah, blood and water in the city I'm raised in. But baby, that's the flavor we based in. You know that saturated culture so savory. That's why it's hard to leave once you tasted it. Maybe it's what you need, or maybe it's a drug strong enough to get you hooked until you need more. Wanna be more, start self-reflecting in that water, trying to see more without any oars or any hopes to see shore. Just float, you know, hopeless. Years of talking through trauma, now we so well spoken. I get faded like old news, but the paper's still rolling. Smokey's still smoking, and you know this, man. I can't be stressing about a goddamn thing, 'cause in honesty, that's not gonna change shit. Pressure on me, I might bend, won't break. Either way, it's gonna be always gonna be okay. Rome wasn't built in a day. Don't let the sadness fracture your faith. Lights flash, then it's ashes again. Baby, that's how magic is made. When in Rome, do like the Romans. But when I'm home, shout out New Orleans. When in Rome, do like the Romans. But when I'm home, passing wow. I'm probably not outside, but I can still whip a cattle to cowhide. Listen, nigga, I need money like how high? So shorty, why you worried about mine? I think it's about time or past it. This shit'll go down like 6:30 and it'll all turn tragic. And they crash in them accidents resulting in traffic. Got a whole city backed up. Trying to put that dirt on the door to you, get you packed up. Those curtains don't act up, not question. Why the brokest niggas always the loudest? That's why I made more profit off that hushing, off that hollering, off that. A squad full of street scholars off the cuff and collar alchemists. I'll turn the word into $1 if I gotta. Come on, so I ain't stress about a goddamn thing, 'cause in honesty, that's not gonna change shit. It's not gonna change shit. On me, I might bend, won't break. Either way, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. Rome wasn't built in a day. So don't let the sadness fracture your faith. Lights flash, then it's ashes again. Baby, that's how magic is made. Voila.
Great. I got to meet.
How was it, okay, if we're being honest, how was it been like meeting me?
I was about to say it. I met all of my fellow cohort members, Simone included. You know, we got to do a whole bunch of things. I had two shows. Well, I had a show earlier, and then I had a panel discussion, so it was really cool to be able to platform my art in a place with quote-unquote prestige and bring my community into a place where they feel more respected and understood as artists. So there's that. I come and I exercise at this park almost 2-3 times a week, so it's super dope to be able to go into the community and see something that you are a part of while you're still just doing your regular routine stuff. So it's like feeling like part of the foundation of this place.
That's a little sad. What can you talk about me, Lauren? What you like about me?
What you mean?
What you like about me?
Well, you invited me to this podcast, so.
That's right.
You got an egg, so Lord said an egg.
You brought me here,
You know?
so I appreciate that more than anything. It's always been love. We've known each other for quite a while. You attended school with my siblings.
See, like, can we get backstory or something?
Yeah, this is really cool. I saw the other podcasts you did. They're both been extremely well produced and they have great content for the community and the people. And it's so good.
Beautiful. See, that's all that was.
I was surprised, taken aback, if you will.
See, that's how you start a show. I was taken aback, Simone, by your work. Lastly, because I was taken aback. Rome wasn't building a name. You're building a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
What is building? What's next?
Right now, I just finished a body of work, which I will be sharing probably a little further into next year. I just got back from out of town and doing shows overseas, so that was cool. We put out a song recently. Me, my friend Wayne, and Lauren Fuller, we are great musicians in the city as well. I actually listened to that same song with them down the road at Home Fest.
How did it go?
It was great.
They were like,
it was nice. Yeah, everybody was like, oh, this is great.
Are you gonna go see Tweet later?
I might.
There goes my shirt.
I would think so. That was great, man. Got to build that, build community, meet each other, work together, uplift each other as artists. What else you got? Can we give it up for Kr3wcial? Thank you.
Thank you, Ceylon. Thank you, y'all. Can y'all give it up a hand for yourselves? This has really been a labor of love and a labor of community and a labor of intention and having a dream and just trying to follow through. Like I said, we filmed the first episode in June, so this is the first one with the studio audience. I be having big deals. Everybody was like, "You sure you want to do that second? Like that's a little bit of a dream." But I'm a big dreamer, and I'm so glad that y'all are here for this monumental. I know it's monumental. You know, you gotta speak what you want in your life. So I'm so grateful that y'all are here for this monumental moment. I can't wait for there to be others. Stay tuned for more Creative to Create. I do street interviews, so if you see me out in the street, social media is IS_Fears, as well as Creative to Create Talk Show for all the street content. We're working on what the next show will be, but I do have thoughts. I'm so excited. Much thanks to Noma, this space, the Creative Assembly cohort, Studio La La La, Loud Queer Youth Theater, a bunch of beholders, to my crew, all of y'all names, I love y'all so much. Y'all listed, y'all gonna be listed. And thank y'all so much to my studio audience. This is the first live taping of Creative to Create. It's only gonna get better. My nerves are out, so the second one, baby, make it a little something different. Thank y'all so much. Hit the music, baby. Get me there now.